album review. Yo, 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 welcome back to album review. And today we're going to be covering Closing Time by Tom Waits. Alright, going straight into the album with All 55. A pretty solid country song that carries a decent amount of energy and is a good kind of entry point into this album. It's gonna be the most energetic song for a while because everything from here just gets like horribly depressing, but it was a good way to kind of ease you into the album. Next song is I Hope I Don't Fall in Love with You. A quite sad song. I mean, it goes from Old 55, this kind of upbeat country song, straight into like depressing, drunken jazz. But it's very pleasant. It's a very nice sounding jazz, and Tom Watts really can sing, and all the lines are really great. It's just kind of forgettable as a whole when compared to the rest of the album. You kind of it kind of blends into the rest of the album where it doesn't stick out. Unlike the Virginia Avenue, which is just a really nice sounding song, very pleasant to listen to, and it's just a nice way to bring you into the album. It's a nice start. Also is quite sad, but it's not quite as sad as some of the later songs in the track. It's a pretty depressing album overall, but again, very nice sounding. I like the jazz, and the album as a whole. It just kind of flips between country and jazz, and all the singing's gorgeous, and the jazz music's just brilliant. Like the piano, for instance, it's just gorgeous sounding, and the saxophone too, just beautiful. Um, Old Shoes and Picture Postcards is a very nice sounding country song. Again, going back to the country music. It's fairly standard for a country song. The singing's overall pretty good, but I wouldn't really say country's much my thing. Still really well made song, good lines, pretty solid. Alright, now we start our kind of streak of just horribly depressing songs for a little while. So next song is Midnight Lullaby. Very sweet sounding and incredibly sad, profoundly sad. Just even the way it makes you feel, the emotions it's expressing are sad, but it makes you feel them just with the sad piano music and the singing, and it's very beautiful. It's very beautiful. Martha is an emotional gut punch. It just kills you. You just feel awful at that point. It's a really sad song, lyrically and instrumentally. Rosie and Lonely are again sad country and then jazz type songs. It kind of blends in together with a lot of the album. It all just kind of blends in, but it's all really great. I can't say there's a bad song on this thing. Every song's really great. It's just after so many depressing jazz blues songs, it just keeps going with them, and I like the sound. They sound great. They're beautifully sung. It's just the album kind of blends in. It's just kind of an experience where the songs themselves don't stand out, but the feeling that the album gives you just while you're sitting there and listening to it, it's very sad. The next song is probably my favorite on this track, though, because it kind of switches it up and it brings a bit more energy. The Ice Cream Man. The Ice Cream Man is more energetic than the other songs. It's got a nice sound. It's incredibly relaxing and relieving after all this depressing, miserable stuff being thrown at you. And it kind of makes you feel a little bit better. It's upbeat. It's nice. I like it. A Little Trip to Heaven is my least favorite song on here. I think this is the song that is doing the least, and where the repetition of the type of song is starting to get onto your nerves just a little bit. Don't get me wrong. Again, all the jazz playing is beautiful, singing, the lines, all of it's great. It's just this one's a bit longer feeling. It feels a bit stretched out. It feels a tad bit unnecessary at points, but it's still overall pretty good. But it's my least favorite in the album. Grapefruit Moon is another great song. Just beautiful. I can't say beautiful enough for this album. Just the whole production is so, there's so much going on, you know? So many different instruments and the Tom Watts. I've never listened to a Tom Watts song before I've checked out this album, and it's really impressive. What he's able to do on this and how he's able to make you feel things and just the some beautiful jazz and singing in there. I really appreciate it, but again, the blend, it doesn't really stick out much. I do think this is one of the better songs on the album though. And then it ends with Closing Time, which just is kind of a nice way to to end off the album. It's just a very jazzy song, no lyrics. It's a calming way to just end it, you know? And it's still keeps that depressing kind of tone, but it doesn't really bug you just because it's kind of calming and less of it's kind of calming and relaxing, and it feels like the right way to end the album. And so I like this album overall. It's just, I would say it blends in with itself a bit too much, and some of the songs don't add much more. Like the album has a lot of the same kind of songs, like structurally and with just the sound of them, and it does get a little repetitive, and they do blend in a little bit, and the tone of the songs too. But the songs are so good. There's some really impressive stuff being done in this album, and I can't help but appreciate it. So, rating, I would rate it. Well, I'll give this album an 8 out of 10. Overall, really great, but it blends in a bit too much. Still enjoyed it a lot, and that was Closing Time, and this is No More album review.